To by było, jeśli czarny Dark Speakerman przeżyłby w tym Skibidi Toilet. Zastanowimy się nad tym tematem. Zapraszam serdecznie. Mobi tutaj będzie gadał. Ja również. No właśnie, co jeśli?
What if Dark Speakerman survived at the end of episode 70? What if Skibidi the scientist managed to escape from the Alliance and was able to avoid his death? And what if the Titans did not make it in time to come and catch Skibidi the...
No ciekawe, bo to jest nawiązanie do chyba filmu od Speederounda, który się pojawił niedawno. Co jeśli naukowiec by uciekł, więc zobaczymy. No właśnie, na pewno jest bardzo ciekawe, a jeszcze bardziej ciekawsze z moim komentarzem, prawda? Lecimy. Obejrzyjcie do końca.
Where I publish the newest
Dobra,
and
Mobi, nie
sometimes Dark
przedłużaj.
Speakerman managed to avoid serious injuries in a battle with a scientist. You can also watch this animation on Ditter Flauten channel. This
A to tego nie widziałem, tej animacji. Okej.
episode begins with Skibidi scientist tried to leave the scene of the battle, but
A, czyli to jest animacja od tamtego Dyrera, czy coś.
thanks to the remote secret agent, prevented him from doing so and closed the door.
No to jest
And even
akurat
if you
tak jak w oryginale, nie? Tylko grafika
compare
słabsza,
this
ale
version with the
historia
original,
podobna.
you can see that the animation is done at a high level. Next, the scientist tried to teleport using his universal remote, but Plungerman also did not let him do it. And
Zhakował
after
mu
that, the
ten
scientist
komputerek, nie?
realized that the battle is inevitable and entered the battle. The scientist activated his laser and tried to quickly deal with Plungerman, but suddenly a spear flew into him and Dark Speakerman rushed into battle, to the aid of his best friend. And Skibidi scientist manages to pierce Speakerman with his mechanical
No to tak jak historia jest na razie tak samo jak w oryginale, prawda?
sharp hands. After that, POV Plungerman also enters the fight and goes to the aid of his comrade. But this time the scientist fails to react in time and the cameraman seriously damages the scientist with his spiky plunger.
Oj,
Uchi
oczy,
starts
nie?
screaming in pain and it all looks like he is lost in space. And then POV Plungerman flies over to the Dark Speakerman to help him up, and as we can see, thanks to the fact that the scientist didn't react in time, the Speakerman remained
No
unharmed.
czyli jakby nie miał czasu na reakcję. No ciekawe. No i to wtedy, wiecie, wszyscy by przeżyli, ale co by się z Plungerem stało,
Plungerman
nie?
then gives a helping hand to his
No
comrade.
tak czy siak Plunger musi zostać zniszczony przez agenta, no bo wiecie, no.
And he was very
Za dużo
surprised,
wie. Oni
because
za
it
dużo
seems that
wiedzą,
now he
tak
doesn't
samo
hold a
Dark.
grudge against him. Dark Speakerman stands up and after a short time, Dark Speakerman notices that something is wrong and pushes Plungerman away, because as it turns out Skibidi scientist aimed his laser at him and tried to kill Plungerman again.
A,
But it
tak na ślepo chce celować ten
is good
naukowiec.
that Dark Speakerman was able to react in time. Then the scientist, using his laser, tries his luck to determine where his opponents are and chaotically directs his beam in an unknown direction, and it lasted until Plungerman threw his
Okej,
plunger at the
rozwala to.
scientist's laser. Then the laser is destroyed and the brave Chamberlain decides that now is the time to finish off the scientist once and for all. He takes out his automatic rifle and cold-bloodedly fires the entire clip right into the Skibidi scientist's face. He starts screaming and defending himself, but it doesn't help him. Also Dark Speakerman joins to help Plungerman. But then suddenly the scientist gets a beep on his remote control.
Co,
Then the hatch that is underneath them
A,
starts to open.
idzie po tego bota, nie? Tego
And
machinę
that's the
tą
end of the
większą.
episode. And as you realized, this is not the end of the story. After all, this is just the first part of this What If episode. Be sure to go to the author's channel after watching this video and watch this episode in person and write your opinion about it in the comments. I'll also leave links to all the authors in the description. And now we move on to the next episode, from a pretty famous author of fan-made animation.
No to Speederound był, nie? Że to
That's
tam
Speedar,
co jeśli.
his
Speeder.
episode, dedicated to the topic of what if. It starts with the reinforcement squads having already done maximum damage to the scientist, and the scientist is about to fly away. Then we see the female squad in its entirety and look at how beautifully and qualitatively executed this animation.
Fajnie, fajnie to wygląda, nie?
Personally, I really like this picture. Next, Skibidi scientist, thanks to his universal remote control, opens the hatch that leads to freedom
No,
and
ucieka, a tu nie ma tytanów, nie? To by było ciekawe. Poleciałby... Myślę, że i tak by naukowiec skończył źle po prostu, bo astrotoalety tylko czekają, żeby się na nim zemścić, nie?
flies away. And yes, he did manage to do it. But where are the Titans? Remember the Titan TV man's broken TV screen that we saw in the
No, oni
original
go
episode?
zniszczyli tam
Well,
potem,
there you
nie?
go. Most likely their battle was delayed and they did not have time to come to this place in time, so they could not catch the scientist and give him the final blows. But that's not the end, as Spidarand showed us an alternate ending to this episode. Next we see the Titans begin to arrive at the location and they realize they are too late. Next, Plungerman shows the Titans a bark, which then changes to a Dislick and he suddenly takes critical damage. He starts sparking and burning. Titan cameraman tried to do something, but Titan TV man stopped him, explaining that there is nothing to be done. Next we see a picture that says camera offline, which changes to welcome Plungerman. Then POV Plungerman
No właśnie,
comes
to
to
jest
his
ciekawe.
senses
I
and
napis Skibidi Dobies jest.
in the upper right corner we can see the inscription Skibidi DOP 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 yes yes yes. What would that mean? Write your theories in the comments.
To jest ciekawe,
Next
że,
we see a dark
że oni staje się Skibidi Toilet czy coś?
man in perfect health. He extends his hand to us and Plungerman gives him his hand and stands up. In the background we can see Speakerman doing a Jaga Jaga dance and Plungerman doesn't understand how this is
To
possible
jakby ci, co zginęli, oni tu są, nie?
because they were killed by
No.
Skibidi Michael Jackson. Next he looks around and sees the lucky cameraman and cameraman twins. Next he turns around and sees the big cameraman agent, who also
Wszyscy ci
died
tak,
in the bunker
to co tak jakby był w niebie dla kamer, czy co?
at the hands of the mad Skibidi scientist. After that Plungerman doesn't understand how they can all be alive if he saw their demise himself. And further when POV cameraman looks around again, one of the cameramen points him down. Plungerman looks down and sees his body there with no legs. It's
No,
just
to jest
lying
jego
there,
ten.
not functioning or sparking. Plungerman's hands start shaking and he becomes invisible. Yeah, that's a creepy ending to this episode. But on the other hand we were shown what could have happened if things didn't go according to plan.
To by było dziwne, ale moim zdaniem to naukowiec i tak by został zniszczony przez pewnie astrotoalety, bo pamiętacie, była ta kłótnia tam, gdzie astrotoalety fejkowego G-Mana chciały zgładzić i wtrącił się w to Tytan naukowiec i oni uciekli. To myślę, że wtedy, wiecie, oni mają kosę ze sobą i pewnie wtedy już wyczuliby jego słabość i po prostu by go zniszczyli. Tak mi się wydaje, bo raczej oni nie działają tak wiecie,
Also, do
razem.
not forget to personally watch this animation on the channel of the author to express your gratitude to him. Also, I want to tell you that soon we may see the first new spoiler for episode 71.
No właśnie.
Remember how Dafug wrote that after episode 70, new episodes will be released more often, so I expect to see a new episode this week. And if
To by było fajnie, jakby się wrzucił nowy odcinek, słuchajcie, no bo tak naprawdę, wiecie, tak naprawdę ten nowy odcinek, on zapowiedział, że tak jak on mówi, że po 70 będzie częściej. Mam nadzieję, że co 7 dni będzie odcinek, bo to by było mega, mega kozackie. Szczerze mówiąc, no trudno to będzie wprowadzić, ale jakbyśmy sobie popatrzyli, kiedy był ostatni odcinek, to był odcinek 6 dni temu, czyli prawdopodobnie powinien być ten odcinek już jutro. Powinny być jakieś spoilery, tak? 13 luty, to dzisiaj tak naprawdę powinien być odcinek, ten 7 dni, prawda? Natomiast pewnie to wróci do 10 dni, tak mi się wydaje, bo na razie nie mamy żadnych nowych przecieków, więc obstawiam, że co 10 dni teraz będą odcinki.